Radhe everyone. I hope you guys are doing good. So today in today's video, today's Leetcode video, we will be discussing all the problems because I have solved all the problems. Okay. Chat is a little bit delayed. I get it. Mm, we can go for some Q&A and stuff, but I'll prefer watching the chat from my phone because it is a little bit delayed. So don't worry, I think that we can disable the chats on screen for now. Okay, chalo. This is a normal poll just to tell that whether you guys are watching this or not. Okay, ऐसे कुछ भी लिख दो, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता इस पे. ठीक है, बस ऐसे मतलब इंटरैक्टिव होना चाहिए चीजें. ओके, सो मैं काम करता हूँ पहले तो. Let me put it on Discord. Then you guys can wait now. Let me first put it on Discord. Chalo. Um, how do I see how many people have joined? Anything in the chat? Okay, there is one yes in the chat, which means that people are there. And anyways, I have turned on subscribers only mode. Okay, so if you want to say anything, you have to use. You have to subscribe me first. Okay. Okay, so let's start with today's video. Okay, I think we are okay to go with. Chat is on for me. Okay, let's start. The first question, this was quite close. This was quite easy. It is given that remove the zeros in decimal representation. You're given a positive integer n. Return the integer obtained by removing all the zeros from the representation of the n, decimal representation of n. What does that mean? That means that you have a number. You have to remove all the zeros that are in it. Okay, that is 1, 0, 2, 0, 0, 3, 0 becomes 1, 2, 3. The zeros are to be removed. So how you can do it? You can simply remove the zeros. You know, like when when we are when we find out the digits of a number. I think even the submission is taking a lot of time. It's better to go back to description. Yeah, because which whatever is taking time, it takes up my video and uh, makes the quality of the video bad. It lags. Okay, so if you look at this code, it is very simple. We are going like I'm taking a specific temporary variable a in which I am putting the number in reverse, and when I'm putting the number in reverse, I'm removing all the zeros in it. That is, I'm taking all the digits of it, and if the digit is not equal to 0, then only I'm putting it to the reverse, to the a. Okay. Now, once we are done with that, so we have removed the zeros successfully. Now also we have reversed the number. Remember, now since we have reversed the number, we have to reverse it again to make it come back to its original form. Now what we are going to do is, while the same thing, okay, the same thing we can do, and this time what we are going to do is, long d is equal to this and a by is equal to 10. So basically you can remove this condition in any one of it. In this also you can remove it, or in this also you can remove it. You can't remove it in both, but you can keep it in both. What I have done, okay. So I hope this is clear with you guys. Hi, Arpit. Hi. Chats are lagging a little bit. Low voice. Oh, okay. Voice is low, no? Just now. Is it clear? Is it clear now? Let me know if it is clear now or not. Is it clear now, Arpit? No, I think you have to change your settings. I mean, I think the device that you're listening into, I think that is having some voice problem because mm, from my end it's working fine, I guess. Someone else you can confirm. If it is if my voice is low from your end, then you can in this poll you can go for a no. Okay, just vote for no. I'll get to know. Arpit, don't do it. The other people who are in the stream, they can do it. Okay, so that I know. Okay, so this question was quite simple. This is a very simple question. I won't be explaining it on whiteboard. Well, I hope that is clear, right? Now, this is a good question. Second question, maximum alternating sum of squares. It tells us that you're given an integer array now, so you can rearrange the elements in any order. The alternating score of an array is defined as the first element square minus the second element square plus the third element square minus the fourth element square and so on. Okay, that is in alternative positions we are going minus plus minus plus. Okay, you have to return an integer denoting the maximum possible alternating score of nums after rearranging its element. Okay, this is also a very good question. I mean, a very simple question. So let's say you're having an array. So first of all, you have to understand what are the numbers that we are adding. Okay, what are the numbers that we are adding? The numbers that we are adding are this, this we are subtracting. Okay, this we are adding again. This we are subtracting. This we are adding. This we are subtracting, and so on. Now the numbers that we are adding, if we have to make the sum maximum, so the numbers we are adding has to be maximum, and the numbers we are subtracting has to be minimum. But there is a little bit of trick over here. Okay, a little bit, not that much. Over here, we are not considering AR of 0. We are considering it square, which means that we can't only keep the maximum elements over here. We have to keep the maximum of the absolute values of them. Okay, which means that minus 3 is greater than 1. Okay, it is not. But why is it greater? Because we are going for minus 3 whole square and 1 whole square, which is greater. Minus 3 whole square, because minus 3 whole square is nothing but 3 square. So we have to remove the negative signs over here. Okay, clear? So what we can do is, since this is a greedy method, so we have to put whichever is going to be added, we have to put maximum over there. Whichever needs to be subtracted, we have to put the minimum over there. So now what we can do is, we can first of all convert all the elements to its absolute values. Okay, because we know that since negative sign doesn't matter much for us, so we can do it like that. Then we can sort it out. Okay, and remember one thing: the number of subtractions that we are going to do is nothing but n by 2. Okay, because if you divide this, let's say your array ends over here, then how many subtraction did you do? 3. And what was the size? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Let's say your array ends over here. So how many subtraction did you do? It is also 3. But what is the length of it? It is 7. So 7 by 2 is also 3. Right? 7 by 2 is also 3. So basically you need to do 3, n by 2 subtractions. So what you can do is, first of all, you can subtract them. Answer is 0 for the first L, first n by 2 small numbers, you can subtract them from answer, their square. Okay, and for the remaining elements, you can add them. That is, these are the maximum elements. Okay, these are the maximum elements. You can add them, and whichever is the minimum elements, you can subtract them. Any doubt on this? I forgot to check the comments. Yeah. Any doubt on this? Okay, no comments here. Voice seems okay. Now okay, I think it was low from, yeah, it was low from your end, I guess. Okay, so anything on this? Jareth, Arpit, anyone? Or should I move on to C? You guys got this? बाई-वीकली नहीं भाई, बाई-वीकली करने का मन नहीं करता. क्लियर, चलो ग्रेट. बाई-वीकली करने का मन नहीं करता ऐसा नहीं बोलूँगा, बट you know bi-weekly it occurs on Saturdays. Okay, so after Friday I need a Saturday completely पूरा fresh वाला. If you look into my eye bags, you can see that I have been sleeping a lot. Okay, चलो let's move on to the next question. It's too easy to bi-weekly या फिर आज का weekly. आज का weekly was also not that hard, I guess. ऐसे हाँ 1000 भाई 1000 AK मुझे लग रहा था कि ये I did it around 9, let's say, because मैंने शुरू भी किया आज लेट, ठीक है, वापस I started around 8:15 or somewhat like that, and I completed it around 9:07 9:06 somewhat like that. रुको मैं देख के बताता हूँ. I completed it 1 hour 7 minutes, and you can remove the क्या बोलता है उसको, you can remove the buffer कि मैंने शुरू किया था almost 15 minutes late. So I completed within 1 hour all the 4 questions. So I think that it was quite easy. Sure, let's move on to the also too simple great defeat. The third question. Stable subarrays with equal boundary and interior sum. Good question. You're given an integer array capacity. A subarray capacity L2R is considered stable if its length is at least 3. The first and last element are each equal to the sum of all elements strictly between them. Which means let's say this is your subarray. This is stable if this element is equal to this element and the sum of all the elements in between. So let's say there is another element and sum of all the elements in between is also equal to this as well as this. So there is a trick to do this. Okay, there is a good trick to do this. Rather, there are a lot of ways to do this. Now, since you can see that it is somewhat dependent on sum, so first thing what you can do is you can find out the sum of subarray whose sum is divisible by 3, mod 3, whose mod 3 is equal to 0. Because this and this are same, so that is 3 into this, so mod 3 is 0 and by 3 is equal to its rightmost and leftmost element. Correct? You can do that. Now, am I missing any comments? Just let me check once quickly. Okay, no comments. So, this is one of the method to do that. ठीक है. Another method क्या हो सकता है कि इतना complex सोचो ही मत, इतना mathematical सोचो मत, because yeah, being a CP coder you have to be a little bit mathematical logically, but not always, right? क्योंकि if it is not hampering my time complexity, I am okay to go with it. तो अभी देखो क्या था कि I have to put this subarray. Okay, I have to check all the subarrays, which means that first of all stable na? Which means that we can take a map basically. ठीक है. Now in that map what we can do is, whenever we are arriving at a specific element, let's say I'm arriving at this, I'm using a different color, I'm arriving at this, so I can subtract this element twice. Okay, after subtracting this element twice, what will be my sum? My sum will be this only, right? Sorry, I think I was not clear enough. Let's say I have the sum of all the elements from here, that is the prefix sum, and I subtract this element twice. So what will my sum be? My sum will be this, right? Correct. Now that my sum is this, now I am going to check whether this element is equal to this element or not. If it is equal, then we can say that it's a valid thing. Okay, it's a valid subarray rather. But how to check this equal thing, right? It is very easy to check this equal thing, because you can have a map where you can store in this manner. Okay, you can store in this manner a map where you're storing in list comma long. What is this list and long? Now let's go a little bit into the code. Okay, see, for every specific element I am storing sum minus long nums of I. What is sum minus long of nums of I? A little bit hard to understand, right? For that part, let's skip this part first of all. Okay, let's skip this part for now. Let's understand this. Sum plus is equal to nums of I, so that is the prefix sum, and I am having an array. This is also a temporary array where I am putting the sum and the number that I am currently on, and I am putting it into the map. This part is clear. This is storing the prefix sum comma last element, the frequency of prefix sum comma last element. Okay, is this clear? Isn't doing a contest live on Leetcode considered as a streamer is exposing code? I tried to रुको क्या हो गया भाई? Mod 3 is equal to 0 y. अच्छा I skipped it. Sorry. Bhaiya, tell me one thing. Isn't doing a contest live on Leetcode cheating as a streamer is exposing code? I tried to tell that person if it's wrong and he started defending himself. I am reporting this. You can do that. If he is revealing any code snippet to you during the contest, which is not a generic code snippet, like, yeah, if someone is revealing you that this is a BFS code snippet which is similar to GFT, then you can't report him. But if he is revealing something which is directly concerning the solution of the question, then yeah. Okay, this mod 3 is equal to 0 y. Okay, see, we were given, right, that in the subarray. Anyways, that is not that much important. It is just a basic concept that I was trying to convey. It is given that this element is x. I'm talking about a valid subarray. This element is x, this element is x. And over here we have got A, B, C, and etc. Okay, and D, let's say. Now this is a valid subarray because the first element and the last element is equal, right? See, a valid subarray is the first and last element are each equal, and sum of all elements strictly between them, they are also equal to that, which means A plus B plus C plus D is also equal to x, right? This is also equal to x. So what is the sum of the subarray? X plus A plus B plus C plus D plus x, that is 3x, right? And 3x is always divisible by 3. Okay, is it clear now? Right, okay, got it. But this is not important in the thing that we are going to discuss. We have a easier approach to do that, but that is also an alternative approach that I was trying to explain you guys. ठीक है, चलो +1, चलो great. और +1 किस पे डाल दिया भाई? Clear, चलो okay. So now let's understand this part. This is a very important part. अरे Let's understand this part. इसमें क्या कर रहे हैं हम लोग? We are taking another temporary array and sum minus nums of I. This sum is not the prefix sum. This is the prefix sum of the previous element, right? So what is the sum now actually? It is sum plus equal nums of I, right? So we are not adding nums of I to it. Rather, we are subtracting nums of I. That is, we are not, so we are at this position, okay? Sum is at this position. So now we have the sum of all these elements before this. Now we are not adding x. X add कर दूंगा तो ये prefix हो जाएगा ना? We are not doing that. We are removing x from that. So that if we are making minus x, that means minus d, minus c, minus b, minus a. That is the sum of the prefix still over here. Okay? Sum of prefix still over here. And also nums of I, right? Because the last element nums of I. So if this condition satisfies that there is a prefix sum of this, where the last element is also nums of I, that is this. Okay? The last element is also nums of I. That is, if map contains such a condition, then answer plus is equal to map dot get temp. That is, how many positions are there which is satisfying this condition. Okay? Clear? If nums of I, this is also. First of all, tell me, ignore this line also. Okay. First of all, tell me till here is it clear or not? Prefix I minus 1. Yeah. Now see, prefix I minus 1, this will take you a big O n thing, okay, and you will have a big O n extra space. So yeah, I haven't used prefix like that. I have used prefix in the form of map. Because anyways you need a map. Okay, anyways you need a map. Now if you're putting a prefix, it's got it, great. So now see, why do we do this? This condition, okay. Now this condition. Because let's say you're having like this 0, 0, 0. Okay. Now if you're at this position, let's say at over here, what we were doing, okay. So you were subtracting 0 from that. So what is, let's say this is the final subarray only. So what is the prefix sum of this? It is 0. What is the prefix sum of this? It is also 0. The prefix sum of this, it is also 0. You are at over here, sum is equal to 0. Sum minus 0, that is also equal to 0. And x is equal to 0, that is 0, 0. Okay? 0, 0. Now if you look at this, for till this prefix sum, it is 0, 0. That is prefix sum, x. For this also, it is 0, 0. Which means that it is satisfying for both of the positions, right? So this is also a valid subarray. And this is also a valid subarray. But just to break it to you, this is not a valid subarray. Though it may look like. Because the first and last element is equal and all the elements in between them, there is one element. So their sum is 0, is also equal to both of them. But it is not a valid subarray. Why? Because it was given that the length has to be at least 3. Okay? You're basically finding 3 elements such that you're using it like prefix map, correct? For example, like subarray sum wala questions में करते हैं वैसे. Subarray sums, correct. Nums of I is equal to prefix of ... where j is some value which has the same sum, correct? So you know that between j and I, the sum between those two elements increase by that exact same one. That correct. That's it. Thanks. Just for this 0, 0, 0 condition, we have to check this. We have to put a check on that. That is, if the current element is 0 and the previous element is 0, we don't consider that. Answer minus minus. Only one subarray will be not considered. That is this one. This is the exceptional case. Okay. According to the logic, it will seem like okay, this is a logical case, but we can't have any subarray with a length less than 3. So that is a invalid case. Okay. Is the code clear to you guys? So this one. Yeah. Is the code clear to you guys? You guys can try post contest coding a similar type of solution, and you can also give a check on mod 3 wala concept. But I don't think mod 3 wala concept is a good concept to be utilized on. Okay. क्योंकि mod 3 वाला concept अगर तुम करोगे तो you will anyhow need the prefix sum, and for prefix sum you will need more computations basically. So it's better to go with this approach only. ठीक है. Should I move on to the next question? No. Let me first of all start a new code. But don't think my level yet is to come up with. I only have count. No. It's not like that, man. It's like it takes a little bit of assumptions and stuff you needed to do. But this is a good question. There is also binary search approach. No, binary search approach won't work over here. I was also thinking of like that, but it won't work because capacity can be mined in negative also. Okay, capacity can be in negative, so binary search won't be working. If I am thinking the same way that you are thinking, then binary search won't be working. D. Should I move on to D? Yes. Just look at the excitement. एक कोड दिखाओ बट वो पाइथन में है. भेजना मैं देखता हूँ. मेरा ना अभी कुछ ये इशू चल रहा है कि मेरा चैट और ये दोनों एक साथ नहीं चल रहा. ये पिन नहीं हो रहा मेरा. ठीक है, चैट पिन नहीं हो पा रहा. ये मतलब दिस जहाँ पे मेरा वो दिखता है, क्या बोलते हैं, वीडियो दिखता है, वो पिन हो गया, बट ये चैट पिन नहीं होगा. तो यू कैन राइट इट इन द चैट, बट ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. अच्छा, मैं खुद को भी ये कर सकता हूँ क्या? खुद को दे सकता हूँ. वाह, चलो मतलब खुद ही के स्ट्रीम में खुद को दे रहा हूँ. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. The fourth question: count distinct subarrays divisible by k in sorted array. You're given an integer array nums sorted in descending or non-descending order and a positive integer k. A subarray of nums is good if the sum of its element is divisible by k. A subarray of nums is good if the sum of its element is divisible by k. Return an integer denoting the number of distinct good subarrays of nums. A subarray is a contiguous non-empty sequence. We know that what is subarray. Subarrays are distinct if the sequence of values are different. Which means, let's take this example only, 0, 0, 0. How many subarrays are this going to have? Ideally, if you go by the logic of subarrays, by the definition of subarrays, one will be this, one will be this, one will be this, this, right? And one will be this. The whole thing. But that is not the case. Why that is not the case? Because it is given that the values has to be distinct also. Sequence of values has to be distinct also. Which means that this is going to have only 3 subarrays. One is 0, one is 0, 0, and the other is 3 zeros. Okay. I only have 200 chars log. This is also there. do one thing, put it on Discord, and whenever put it on Discord, use this, ये ये जो साइन होता है ना backticks वाला, put it on 3 backticks, then the code, and then 3 backticks. If possible, put it like this: backticks Python. Okay, but not necessary. That Python part is not necessary. तो ये तो क्लियर है कि ये तीनों डिस्टिंक्ट है, इसमें 6 नहीं बनेगा, 3 बनेगा, क्योंकि we have to put the sequence of values also distinct, and we have to find how many such distinct subarrays are there which are divisible, which has a sum divisible by k. Okay. I don't know how many of you have tried attempting this question and how you have attempted this, or maybe have done this question and how you have done this. But something tricky about this question is, it is given that the array is sorted. Correct. So ये तो मेरा डिस्टिंक्ट बन गया है ना, 0 0 0 1 0 पे. But what if I tell you कि भाई 0 0 1 है, ठीक है, क्या ये डिस्टिंक्ट बन सकता है? और लेट्स से 0 तो भाई बहुत इजी नहीं, 0 इज अ गुड केस, 0 इज अ गुड केस. नाउ लेट्स से आई हैव टू k इज इक्वल टू 1, ठीक है, तो कितने सब अरेज बनेगा? 0 1 0 0 1, and this is also the number of distinct subarrays and the number of subarrays जिसके लिए k is equal to this, I mean जिसके लिए it is divisible by k. But problem कब आएगा? Problem तभी आ रहा है when all the elements are same. If any one element is also not same, there won't be a problem. You get it? Now you may say that क्यों problem क्यों नहीं आएगा, मैं ऐसे भी तो कर सकता हूँ, मैं इसको बस 0 भी डाल सकता हूँ. करेक्ट भाई, तुम 0 डालोगे तो तुम्हारा ये सब array नहीं आएगा ना. I think this part is a little complex to understand. ठीक है, see, since it is sorted, it means in other terms, in more simpler terms, हम लोग ये बोल सकते हैं कि it is already grouped कि 0 0 0 1 1 2 2 2. So it is already grouped, right? Zeros and ones and twos are already grouped. So when we are considering for only zeros, तब ये distinct वाला केस मैटर करेगा. But if you are considering that भाई लास्ट एलिमेंट 1 फिक्स्ड है, ठीक है, तो तुम जो भी करो, तुम इस 0 के साथ लो, इस 0 के साथ लो, या फिर इस 0 के साथ लो, all of them are distinct. ठीक है, क्योंकि मेरा वो फिक्स्ड है, क्योंकि आई एम टेकिंग एटलीस्ट 1 1 and that is in the last position. I know. Now let's say मैं ये बता रहा हूँ कि भाई ये है 2 1 है, ये फिक्स्ड है, तो मैं अब 0 कैसे डिसाइड करूँगा? See, the moment you are fixing something कि भाई 1 1 यूज होगा ही, ठीक है, या फिर 1 यूज होगा, you are very sure to go that all of them are distinct. Is it getting in like कुछ इशू हो रहा है समझने में, या फिर you are clear with this concept कि we have to only check for distinct if all the elements are same in the subarray? क्या ये clear है? And since it is already in ascending order, which means that they are already grouped, so I will only check if मेरा जो दो pointed है, starting and ending point, they lie inside the same group or not. If they don't lie inside the same group, we don't have to check anything. We can directly say भाई इसके अंदर जो भी distinct हो, जो भी जितना भी normal होगा, normal subarrays होगा, divisible, put it out directly. Okay. The last element is the element that you are going to put in the subarray, and the first is the first element that you are going to put in the subarray. मैं थोड़ा और explain कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है? Considering that you guys may not be understanding this. Let's say ये starting point है, ये ending point है, ठीक है? So this is a subarray, and this subarray is equal to ये ending point है, and ये starting point है, correct? Are both of them distinct? No, both of them are not distinct. But ये issue कब हुआ? When I was putting both the starting and ending point pointing to the same element. I mean the same number rather. Maybe not the same element but the same number, that is 0. तभी ये issue आएगा. क्या हुआ अचानक से तुम चैट चुप क्यों हो गया? क्या हुआ अचानक से तुम चैट? हाँ वॉइस तो आ रहा है मेरा. कोई बात नहीं. तो this is it, okay. If it is 0 0 and 1 1 then only you have to check that. अब इसको समझते हैं आराम से. How we can simplify this? अब remember one thing, whenever you are going to check for divisible by k, you can do the modulo thing, okay? You can put the prefix sum but in modulo k, which means कि अगर let's say I'm having a modulo k of 6, k is equal to 6. The prefix sum till over here modulo k is let's say 5, and till over here the modulo k is also 5, which means that the all the elements in between them is divisible. I mean if you add them up it is divisible by 6, correct? क्योंकि यही 5 से कैरी ओवर हुआ ना इधर, बाकी का तो बीच में सारे 6 से डिविजिबल, मतलब बाकी का जो भी है बीच में वो उसका सम 6 से डिविजिबल है, करेक्ट? तो we can do the modulo part. Okay, now let's look into the code a little bit. This is a GCD function. I hope you guys know about this. Yeah, this is a simplified GCD function. Why we need that I'll also tell that. Okay, great. I'm putting a map, a hash map rather, integer, sum is equal to 0, answer is equal to 0, initially. What is the sum? Sum is basically nothing but sum mod k. Okay. So initially map.put 0, 1. That is, I am having a frequency of 0 one time, because before starting the count, the sum is 0. Okay. P is something which is a position. अभी के लिए ऐसे समझो. Then I am traversing throughout the whole array. Okay. And the moment I am traversing, I am checking that if that element is not equal to this previous element or not. That is, this is a value of p, possible value of p. 0 is a possible value of p, and this is a possible value of p. Okay, where the previous element is not equal to that element. That is the start of every group in a more simplified version. So p is storing the start of the group that you are currently standing at. Correct? If you are currently standing over here, what is the value of p that is being stored? That is this. If you are currently standing over here, what is the value of p? That is this. That is the starting of this group. Okay? Sum plus is equal to this, sum mod is equal to k. This is a very simple thing. I have already explained. Now, if map dot contains key sum, that means this condition. That is, we have already got a 5, and now again we have a 5. Then that means that we have got something which is divisible by 6. Correct? So we have to add that. How many times we are getting that? How many times we are getting 5? Okay. How many times we are getting 5? Let's say if we are getting 5 3 times. So that means there are 3 subarrays possible. Not distinct. Till now we haven't come into that distinct part only. Okay. We just know that there are 3 subarrays possible. Now that there's 3 subarrays possible, now comes how many subarrays are possible that belong to the same group. Okay, this 6 thing, let's say this 6 thing. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6, right? 6 mod 6 is 0. So this thing we have to exclude. How do we know how many do we need to exclude? Right? There may be more tools also, right? There may be more tools also. So how do we know that these are the number of things that we need to exclude? That is where GCD and HCF, LCM HCF comes into play. Because let's say this is 6 and 2. This is a very simple equation that we need 3 2's to get 6. Let's say we had 6 and 8. 6 is here, 8. Let's say K is 8 and the value of that group is 6. Okay, all the elements in the group is 6. So how many 6 do you need to make the number divisible by 8? 1 6? No. 2 6? No. 3 6? It's 18. Is it so? But I mean, can you make it? I don't think so. 18 is not divisible by 8. Another 6, that is 24. Yeah, now it is divisible by 8. That is 8 3 is 24. Correct? So how many 6's you needed? 4. Right? You needed 4 6's. How can you find this number 4? It is very simple. It's nothing but the uh, number by its HCF. Okay? So what is the number? Number is 8, right? K is 8. By the HCF of 6 and 8. What is the HCF of 6 and 8? It is 2. 8 by 2. That is 4. You may ask me that what is the mathematical proof for this? First of all, let me check. No comments. Okay. Dry ho chuka comment section. So, you may ask me that how can I come up with a direct mathematical equation that this is 4? Because, देखो, ये जो number है ना, this is the LCM of this and this, right? This is the LCM. And we know that LCM is equal to, or rather let's say LCM into HCF is equal to the elements of that group, the element of that group into K. Correct? Now that you know that G into K, so how many times will this happen? This will happen 24 by 8, right? That is LCM by K. So I can remove this K and put it over here. LCM by K times. This is what I need, right? Sorry, my mistake. Not K. 6, right? How many times did we need 6 to get it 24? So LCM by G, rather, okay? So I can remove this G and put it over here. And this is what I need, right? This is the number of times that I need. Which is, I can put this HCF off and put it over here. That is K by HCF. Okay. Now I hope the equation, the arithmetical equation is well understood. So we need K by HCF times. Now remember, we know how many elements are over there in this group from that specific element. How can we know? We know the value of P. We know what position we are currently at. Subtract them. Plus 1. How many elements are there? Or rather subtract them only. How many elements are there? We can remove that. Correct? But that's not correct. Because this 222, correct? This 222, we won't be removing. We need at least 1. Okay? So, in other words, this P may be pointing over here, but when we are going to think about removal, we have to remove this. Not this. I mean, not this. Not these two. We have to remove the elements which are coming in between them. Okay? Now, it is very simple to get the solution out of here. You can check how many possibilities are over here in between I minus P. And how many times it is K by HCF. So, possibility by times, remove it from answer. Okay? And as a matter of fact, map.put sum comma map.get.default sum comma 0 plus 1. Okay, this is basically to put the frequency of that prefix sum and return answer. Any doubt on this? I've been explaining for a long time. Now I want like some I want people to like put it in the live chat if you guys have any doubt because the watching is quite less. Hmm. If you guys are unable to TLE eliminators is also live. Okay. If you guys are unable to understand, you guys can like sorry, if you guys are unable to like write on the live chat, you guys can subscribe my channel and then write on the live chat. And if you don't feel like my channel is worth you, can unsubscribe also. Okay. But I have put on subscribe on the only mode. Okay.
There is no colon, there is a semicolon. Thank you, Amit. That's really encouraging. Yeah, you can sort the absolute value as well because the square of a number.
So that makes us come to the end of the video. We can rate the problem. I'm actually looking at TLE
It could be that Leetcode has become easier, but it could also be that you're maybe becoming better. That's why you're feeling this. Okay, let's move on to problem 3.
He was explaining problem 2 till.
Okay, so you
Great.
this will be stable because this is equal to 9, this is equal to 9. The middle portion is also equal to 9. Okay. Similarly, from 3 to 3 will be considered stable because this is 3, and the middle portion is also 3. Cool, makes sense. Sure, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. See, during the contest, you cannot refer to videos or any other online solutions or anything like that because that is considered cheating. Fine. Um, so definitely during the contest, you're meant to solve it alone. You're not allowed to use AI help as well. You're only allowed to use max to max Google, maybe some textbook, and your own brain, right? So that's what you're allowed during the contest. After the contest, you can watch the video solutions and absolve and learn. So that's my answer to your question.
Correct. That's correct. That's
I
correct.
joined. I did in like 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Okay. So now let's continue with our solution. Okay. So let us do what we have to do. For the first thing when thinking about any problem is to always make a reference of the time complexity. We see that the length of the whole array is less than equal to 10 to the power 5. Right? The length of the array is less than equal to 10 to the power 5. So again we know that we need an n or n log n solution. Okay, we need an n or n log n solution. So question expected answer will be big O of n or big O of n log n. Okay. Fine. Now
the first problem was
okay. So what we're going to do is let's just write down the condition.
And then the first problem was right? Easy.
So the idea is that any stable subarray, okay, any stable. So first of all, let's not think about the length here. Let's just think of the general idea.
The first one was easy. The second one, I think, it was maximum always. It was on the easier side of medium. Third was stable subarrays with equal boundary and integer sum. It's considered stable if its length is 17. So this a little bit on the harder side. And D was also on the harder side. Not a hard. I feel. So okay, that's it from my end, guys. Thank you guys for joining. Have a good day. Okay. Bye. Chalo. Bye. Bye bye guys.